I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, April the 4th. You look at starting out on Monday there, of course your board was lower, we knew that it would be, but it wasn't a complete wreck. Your fats on the board were just kind of weak to 50 cents lower, so not too much, and really nobody had any faith that fat cattle were going to maintain those prices that they had a week before last. They knew they was going to lose ground last week, so it wasn't a big shocker to anybody that they give up all that leverage. Feeder cattle 80 to 90 cents lower. A lot of that has to do with a little reason to have a spark in the corn market, as nearby corn contracts were up 3.5 there, with expected plantings come in under expectations, under what the analysts had guessed. So that's a little shot to corn, but the fact that the stocks were up for March stocks on corn 10% compared to a year ago, that kind of offset that and kept corn from spiking anymore. But your fat cattle trade, the results come in for last week with 80,500 head, which is pretty respectable, but nothing like the 100,000 plus that we've been getting used to here as this market's been going up. But weighted averages on your live cattle, steers and heifers, around 127.5, about $3.50 lower compared to the previous week. Your dressed fats about 205, which is about $5 to $6 lower compared to the previous week. So, you know, sure, a colossal failure on that, and we're looking for lower fats again this week as they smell blood in the water now. Your packers are going to call in a lot of contracts. They've got cattle that they can pick up this week or next from those guys that sold 3 to 4 weeks out there and over the past few weeks, and they're not going to get real aggressive now. And if your feeders want to continue to stay current and keep digging into these cattle, they're going to have to sell some cattle probably $1 to $3 lower, you would think. But feeder cattle prices not as bad as a lot of people might think. Again, nobody had a lot of hope for holding out that higher fat cattle market. Your real-time index on Beef Market Central is holding near steady at 131.50 compared to the end of last week, which we didn't have a lot of big high volume sales at the end of last week, so it doesn't surprise you that it could hold near steady. Oklahoma City, 6,500 head on Monday. Feeders $1 to $3 lower, calves not well tested. But in Joplin, they had a lighter run, 4,000 head, and feeders were steady to $3 higher. I had to call my old compadre Rick Huffman there, that's reporting the market, and see what the deal was. He said they did have a new buyer that hadn't been there for quite a while on the 6 and light 7 weight cattle, but he said those bigger feeders were just were selling, you know, $1 or $2, maybe $3 here higher, and wasn't sure why, but they was having an active market there, and the lighter receipts might have something to do with it. Just not going to be a lot of cattle moving right now. It's so wet everywhere you go. It's really hard to move cattle, and if guys want to get them, they're going to have to get their orders in, and those buyers will have to get a little aggressive to get any numbers put together. Calves were steady in Joplin. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.